My name is Christopher Jones. I just won the Collegiate National Time Trial for Division I men's. The waiting game was the worst thing about today. This is huge. This is something, you remember for the rest of your life.
It's just, I cannot tell you. Like, he has worked so hard that to see him win a championship with this magnitude is unbelievable.
Good evening, and welcome to the 2015 State of the City Address. My name is Christopher Jones, and no relation to the other speaker with the last name Jones here. However, they gave him much more time to speak than I get. I'm currently a graduate student at VCU, and I am the current Division I Collegiate National Time Trialist. So to translate that to English, it means that I get to pedal a bike really, really fast while someone times me, and I just hope that I beat everyone else. I want to share briefly with you about the World Road Championship coming to Richmond. But before I do, I want to talk a little bit about the Collegiate Nationals that was here last summer. To me, it was one of the few times that the entire city was behind an event. The people, the businesses, and the servicemen all played a huge part in making the event amazing. Throughout the year, we race on random roads, warming up next to Porter Johns. But for the 3 days in Richmond, we were celebrities. So what does this mean for the World Championship coming to Richmond? I hear a lot of people describing it as the Super Bowl of cycling. I don't believe this to be 100% accurate. I say this because the Super Bowl, you have athletes that are paid for by a team to win for that team. With the World Championship, these are cyclists that are trying to win for their country. So what Mayor Jones has accomplished is bringing the World Cup of cycling to Richmond. So what does this mean for Virginia? It means that Richmond small businesses and Richmond in general will flourish at the amount of people that will be here. It means that the history and the beauty that Richmond has to offer will be showcased throughout the weeks where we will have bike racers around. So I would like to leave you with a short video that will explain a lot more than I can about the World Championships coming to Richmond. So I thank you for your time and enjoy your evening.
The eyes of the world will be on the Richmond region for 9 days in September of 2015. 1,000 of the world's top cyclists, men, women, juniors, representing 75 nations, will converge upon the United States for the UCI Road World Championships. Many hundreds of thousands will be roadside. Many hundreds of millions will tune in through television and internet from around the globe. Get ready, the world is coming. Go!
Thank you so much, Christopher. We are so excited about the races coming in September. Good evening and welcome to our new school. My name is Leslie Reyes Montoya and I'm a sophomore here at Huguenot High School, a school established on respect, responsibility, accountability, courtesy, and consistency. Today, I have the honor of introducing the Mayor of the City of Richmond, Dwight C. Jones. Since 2009, Mayor Jones has been focused on not only making meaningful improvements to the City of Richmond, but moving our city forward by building the best Richmond. He has used his 35 years as a public servant to grow Virginia's capital city by design. His efforts have been noticed locally and throughout the world. As the mayor has previously indicated, it's been said that when you weren't looking, Richmond got to be cool. As Richmond is experiencing our coming of age, Mayor Jones has been at the center of the city's advances, encouraging healthier residents through the many initiatives of the Mayor's Blue Ribbon Commission on Health Policy, encouraging community service to help strengthen our communities by the Neighbor to Neighbor initiative, working to help end the cycle of economic inequality through the Maggie L. Walker initiative for expanding opportunity and fighting poverty, and developing Richmond future leaders and workforce with the Mayor's Youth Academy, to just name a few. After a short video recapping the past year, I ask you to please join me in welcoming the Mayor of the City of Richmond, Dwight C. Jones.
We're not here today to talk about San Diego. We're not here today to talk about Berlin, but we're here to talk about the choice destination of the East Coast of the United States. We're here today to talk about the city of Richmond, Virginia.
Richmond. If you blink, you just might miss something. RVA is bursting with energy, limitless possibilities, and opportunities for as far as the eye can see. And we are excited.
We are all very excited.
So excited.
Very excited.
Is this not something exciting?
So excited.
Very exciting.
Really excited.
We are super stoked.
I don't think anybody is more excited than I am.
In RVA, we're excited about the opportunities for businesses big and small, new to RVA, homegrown, and entrepreneurs.
It is an honor to announce that Stone Brewery Company, the 10th largest craft brewer in the United States of America, will invest $74 million in a new facility in Richmond, Virginia.
So this neighborhood is now drawing Fortune 500 companies, but it's also drawing small businesses, and we come today to celebrate not only can the big shops be on Hull Street, but also the Hull Street Mini Mart can be here, mall can be here.
And we're really excited by this expansion. Hope this is just the first of many positive announcements and growth for this company. And I'm just very excited that they're in my district and serving the city of Richmond.
And if you're looking for a little advice to get your business started or gaining more traction, the Jones administration is excited to help.
Hundreds of building permits have been issued within the last several weeks that are eligible for rebates from the city.
There are several things we're doing, as the mayor mentioned: expedited plan review, community development, and you're interested in microloans, artist live work housing, gap financing.
Recognizing that you need support and mentorship that will allow you to be successful. My business is politics, and I have seen so many who thought they didn't need any help who have fallen by the wayside. In politics, people who thought they knew it all because they were young and vivacious, but they needed really to have somebody to guide them and direct them and give them the benefit of the experience of having been there and done that. And you have taken that opportunity today, and that is a great thing.
In RVA, nobody can deny that we work hard, and that means we play hard. And over the past year, the opportunities for entertainment, cultural experiences, exercise, and sport were legendary. In fact, there wasn't just one NFL team in town, there were two.
We've got the excitement of a new, young, pretty good-looking guy too, handsome coach, and the excitement of the additional National Football League team that's going to visit Richmond this summer, the New England Patriots. And we're expecting more people, we're expecting more fun, and we're expecting more opportunities. This was the mosque, and then it became the Landmark, and today Altria. And so we're seeing things change even as we stand. Steve, you mentioned Bob Dylan and Elvis, but you didn't mention that Gladys Knight was here Sunday night.
This is a great day, and we want to congratulate Richmond Cycling Corps and Armstrong High School and all of these young people for this wonderful opportunity there that they have to travel this 1 mile course.
The City of Richmond is extremely proud to partner with the Black History Museum, helping to make this project possible. We are providing a grant, and we're providing technical assistance, and many of our people are here today because we are so impressed and so proud of this project and what it's going to mean for our city, what it's going to mean for tourism, and what it's going to mean for Jackson Ward, but most of all, what it's going to mean for preserving our history and telling our story.
RVA has had a banner year for public investment as renovations have begun at the Main Street Station train shed and preparations have begun for the new T. Tyler Potterfield Memorial Bridge. Renovations have just wrapped up at Fire Station 10. The city has acquired a property that will serve the residents of Southside as a new community center with athletic fields, and a design is in the works for a new farmers market and plaza. The Animal Care and Control Shelter has been renovated, and the administration has opened the new state-of-the-art Justice Center.
Last Friday night, 945 residents of the Old Richmond City Jail moved into the new Justice Center. You really should get a round of applause for that.
The train shed is 100,000 square feet. It's going to be converted, just started construction September 22nd, 2014, opens in 2016. This is the actual rendering of the first floor Welcome Center. The state of Virginia is going to move the Virginia Welcome Center from Capitol Square to this location.
The mayor said we want to engage the water. So the first project out of the gate we've talked about is the T. Tyler Potterfield Memorial Bridge, to make that direct connection for a pedestrian and bicycle use, which makes access to the riverfront fully accessible.
RVA's streets have seen some significant upgrades with the paving of more than 92 lane miles and more than 20,000 potholes filled. There has been 5.2 miles of bike lanes and bike sharrows installed and 2,100 trees planted. Public safety has seen some new additions, including 29 new police graduates and 20 new fire department graduates.
You're going to keep our community safe, and you're going to worry about things so that the rest of us don't have to. And for that, I know I speak for everyone here when I say thank you. And we love you.
Although RVA is ripe with opportunities, many of her residents aren't reaping the benefits. Mayor Jones has said numerous times that the poverty rate in Richmond is unacceptable, and with the creation of the city's Office of Community Wealth Building, there is now a full-time team dedicated to changing lives in the city of Richmond.
These investments represent the launch of an unprecedented effort to tackle the roots of poverty in our city and to do so in a holistic fashion. The city residents that we serve and the city that we want to have is going to require that we have someone who is able to lead and guide this effort. And so that is why my budget proposal also includes $300,000 for the formation of the Mayor's Office of Community Wealth Building. And I'm very pleased this afternoon to name Professor Thad Williamson as the first director of the Mayor's Office of Community Wealth Building.
To reach the kids, you have to reach the parents most of the time as well. The parents are the most formative influence on any child's life. The parent is struggling, and that's going to inevitably rub off on the chances of the kids. And so what we're doing with this program this year, besides starting to expand its scale, is being sure that we're looking at the individual trying to get a job in a holistic situation that looks at the entire family situation, identifies all the needs.
With the goal of reducing poverty and increasing opportunities for all Richmond residents, Mayor Jones continues to push job readiness and training through the Center for Workforce Innovation. And this year, 167 individuals were hired through the Workforce Pipeline, and a new innovative welding project was launched.
The first thing on the agenda of our anti-poverty report was training, job readiness, and providing jobs for our residents. And today, we really take a giant step in that direction of providing expertise for persons so that they can get jobs. We recognize that without a skilled workforce, that we cannot retain businesses and we cannot attract businesses to the city of Richmond.
A huge barrier to opportunities is often a lack of transportation. And this year, GRTC, with support from the city, was awarded a $24.9 million grant to begin implementation of Broad Street Rapid Transit.
First person I called when I heard about the award of the grant was Ben Campbell, who was in charge of the transportation piece of our poverty work. And he was excited as I was, because this means that all of our work is not in vain, but we're going to change things in this city and make jobs available to those who need to get to those jobs.
Affordable housing is an important step towards a better life, and with RRHA breaking ground on new senior apartments and the Sommernath Senior Apartments at Beckstoffers open, the tide is turning.
When I think about 150 affordable homes and a $36 million investment, or the leverage that investment has made, it tells us that sometimes it appears that we're not getting the job done, but then we can come to an event like this and say, step by step, day by day, house by house, neighborhood by neighborhood, we are transforming the city of Richmond. And for that, we are particularly grateful to our partners and to corporate philanthropy, and to those who just have a passion to make sure that we continue to get the job done. The East End transformation represents the largest project, I think was mentioned earlier, in the city's pipeline. Thus far, we've budgeted $6 million in capital funds, which will leverage additional money from federal, private, and philanthropic sources in the near future. And so, thoughtful and carefully planned public housing conversions into mixed income neighborhoods that include advanced educational opportunities is a part of our plan. But economic development remains the vital component to our achieving this goal.
And as the Jones administration knows, education is the foundation on which opportunities are built. The main library is being renovated, the Broad Rock Library is now open on Sundays, the Mayor's Youth Academy is hard at work preparing our youth for the world, a new pre-K facility is under construction, and the new state-of-the-art Huguenot High School is open. The first new high school in the city of Richmond in 40 years.
And so this is the first new high school in the city of Richmond in 40 years. It's an accomplishment that deserves recognition. We're extremely proud of this, and I want to be very clear about the fact that we have done this together. Our goal has been to create an environment second to none for the students of the Richmond City School System, and we've done this. This is the finest high school in our state, and you ought to be proud to be a student here.
And the Mayor's Youth Academy has been going strong for 5 years.
And so by applying to this program, these young people have taken the first step towards enhancing their career development options. And your commitment to employ and mentor Richmond young people is vital to their success and development, and vital to the success of Richmond's future workforce.
RVA is buzzing with energy, and we are excited about how many residents, businesses, and organizations use that energy in volunteering. Taking pride in our town is what pushes us forward, and there is no better way than giving back. RVA is alive and full of excitement. The city is on the move, and in just a few months, the world will be joining us to experience the excitement firsthand. Hundreds of thousands of our closest friends are coming to the UCI Road World Championships, and we can't wait to share RVA with them. Join us for the abundance that 2015 has to offer, and we hope to see you at the races. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Mayor Dwight C. Jones.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. Hello, Richmond. Hello, Richmond. I'm so happy that you've come to be here tonight, excited about the opportunity to talk to you about our city. But before I get started, let me just take a moment to recognize the presence of our city council, the members of the city council who are here, and I'm going to ask them to stand and be recognized. Our new president, Michelle Mosby, Parker Angelesto, Jonathan Beliles, Kathy Graziano. We're in Kathy's district tonight, Dr. Cynthia Newbill, and Mr. Charles Samuels. Give them a round of applause. I also want to recognize the members of our school board who are present tonight. I want to recognize Donald Coleman, the chairperson, and Chris Larson were in her district tonight. Jeff Bourne, Shonda Harris Muhammad, and Reverend Dr. Derek Jones. Let's give them a round of applause. And one of the things I'm very proud of during our administration is the Mayor's Youth Academy, and I want them to stand and I want you to recognize them. Mayor's Youth Academy. And our press secretary and her office puts this on every year, and they do just a fabulous job, working very hard. So help me recognize Tammy Hawley, Michael Wallace, Shelby Crouch, Tyler Hill, Zandy Owen, and Cheryl Ivy Green. She's not a part of it, but she is a part of it. So give them a round of applause as well. The World Championships of Cycling back in the United States for the first time in 30 years. This beautiful, state-of-the-art high school is the first high school built in the city in 40 years. The country's coolest craft brewery company is coming to Richmond, and it's going to bring jobs to the Fulton area. And we're finally building an expanded public transportation system with bus rapid transit, and we're no longer dreaming and hoping, but we're doing it. Look around you and you know that the list goes on, and you don't need me to say it, but I will say it anyway. My friends, the state of the city of Richmond is resurgent. And for the first time in my lifetime, we all know that Richmond's best days are not behind us, but Richmond's best days are in front of us. That wasn't clear when I came to Richmond to study at Virginia Union University. Dr. Perkins is here a few years ago. Really, it wasn't just a few years ago. It was after the marches in Selma, Alabama. The problems were easy to see. It's a tough history for us to remember, but to keep moving forward, we have to acknowledge our history in order to know how to move forward. Back then, Richmond was shrinking, middle-class families were fleeing, black families were leaving, white families were leaving as well. Poor people had no choices. They were trapped into massive housing projects where hope had little chance of surviving. Educational inequality, violence, and alienation were allowed to subvert neighborhoods that once thrived. Crime began to tick up slowly until crime strangled our city. And then we had an election system that left most of Richmond unrepresented. And I didn't want to stay in a city like that, and neither would you want to stay in a city like that. Yet, something magical touched my heart. I couldn't identify it back then, and I can't explain it now. But despite everything, I chose to make Richmond my home, and my home it was during those tough days. And I think that it was during those tough days that old Richmond's attitude was born. An attitude we've all seen and an attitude we all know too well. It's that self-defeating attitude that says, if something's hard, it must be wrong, so let's not just do anything, let's do nothing. It says unless 100% of the people agree on a tough issue, then we have to stop and wait and put it off until a later date. The old mentality says if something's new, then something must be wrong. That mentality still lives in Richmond in some ways and in some places. And I recently heard somebody say that Richmond is a place where good ideas go to die. There's only one right answer to people who say that, however, and that answer is you're either part of the solution or you're a part of the problem. But let's be real tonight. As Richmonders, that's our history. We have to own it. And that's just one reason why important projects can take a lot of time in the city of Richmond. And so while I know many of you want to hear an update on baseball tonight, I won't have any update until the time is right. But I want everybody to know this. I strongly believe that the next steps on that project or every project in the city of Richmond needs to be viewed through one lens, and that lens is this: how does it help develop underutilized land so that we can generate new money that will reduce our 26% poverty rate that leaves thousands of poor people shoved into handfuls of concentrated neighborhoods where nobody wants to be. I know we all share that goal, and so let's be clear. This year, as we prepare to receive 300 million people who are going to come to watch us on television, the City Council, the school board, and I aim to shape this solution together. I want to acknowledge the leadership of the school board, Don Coleman and Chris Larson, and the new leaders of City Council, Michelle Mosby and Chris Hilbert. And I know we all share and are committed to not only cooperation, but we're committed to action. And while I can't speak for them, I can say that my goal is not to win a unanimous vote on every issue, but my goal is to get things done and to move this city forward as quickly as we possibly can. We need to build on the resurgence that's moving Richmond forward like never before. In the last 6 years, we've begun to build new schools like the one we're sitting in tonight, a school that's technology-rich with learning spaces and community-centered design. The school board is focusing on academic improvement and student achievement like never before. And together we're setting the bar high for change. And we're working for successful outcomes for these young people who sit here tonight. We've brought new jobs to the city. We're changing the downtown skyline. We're advancing the riverfront plan, and we're becoming a greener city. We've begun renovating Main Street Station, and our resurgence is evident there too, when November saw the highest ridership at the Main Street Station since 2003. Richmond is showing up in ways that no one would have ever expected Richmond to show up. We've been named a top travel destination. We've been named one of the happiest cities. We've been named one of the top 10 cities you should explore on 2 wheels. We have one of the best neighborhoods for young people in Shockoe Bottom, and our Fan District was named one of the country's 10 great neighborhoods in 2014. We've been dubbed a millennial magnet because we have more people in their 20s than we have in their teens. We're a great city for food lovers, a runner-friendly community, an affordable city where you can buy a home, and a lot more. And as the Huffington Post wrote this fall, it seems like everybody is moving to Richmond. That is the Richmond resurgence. A generation ago, people were moving out of Richmond. Now, people are moving into Richmond. Back then, the past held us back. Today, the future is propelling us forward. This resurgence is empowering us to take on very tough challenges that were impossible before. And together, we are delivering results. We've taken on every tough challenge, and we've been able to deliver where others have failed. We've torn down the old jail, and we built a new justice center in its place, where we hold people accountable for the things that they have done wrong, breaking the law. But also we help them to rejoin a peaceful society that believes in second chances. We want to change lives, and we've developed meaningful alternatives to jail, like our day reporting center and training programs to help prepare people for job readiness and other life skill training. Earlier this month, the first class of the day reporting center graduated, and when I heard the stories and the testimonies of the 22 program graduates, it confirmed for me that the changes we're seeking are real. There's so much for us to be proud of tonight, and we could go on and on and on about the things that are good, even though oftentimes all we hear about are the things that are not good. But we have no time to waste patting ourselves on the back, because our resurgence is speeding up. Think about this. 2 of the biggest things happening in Richmond today, we didn't even know about them a year ago. When we met just a short time ago, 1 year ago, across town at Martin Luther King Jr. Middle School, no one could foresee Stone Brewing Company coming to Richmond. But next week, workers will begin constructing a $74 million operation that will bring hundreds of new jobs and millions of new tax dollars to the city of Richmond. And we should be proud of that. And the fact that we are able to applaud that is seen in the fact that we won this opportunity over 300 other cities. And when we met last year ago, bus rapid transit was a lofty dream that was only in the minds of a few well-meaning, committed people. But today, we have $25 million committed in addition to other local money that is committed that's going to make that dream become a reality. Now designs are underway and an expanded modern public transportation system is coming to RVA that's going to unite Richmond and Henrico after years of fretting and worrying and delaying. People thought it would never happen, but friends, it is happening. And let's not forget that when we met here a year ago, we hoped that the National Football League players in Richmond might get a chance to go to the Super Bowl. Well, that's happening on Sunday. It might not be our hometown team, but we've now shown that training camp in Richmond can lead to a Super Bowl appearance, and whether it's the Patriots who practice here this summer, that was for you, Chris. Or the Seahawks, whose Russell Wilson grew up here, Richmond will be in the Super Bowl. And thanks to a lot of exciting projects like this, people around the world are taking notice of the city of Richmond. Wall Street has rewarded us with 5 bond rating increases. We're now one step away from AAA bond rating. Why does this matter, Mr. Mayor? It matters because good credit makes everything easier, and good credit makes everything cheaper. Not only the bond rating, but our low crime rate. The numbers speak for themselves. We had our 5th straight year of violent crime reduction. The lowest rate we've seen since I've lived in Richmond. And that's due in large part to the commitment to community policing that Chief Ray Tarasovic has advanced and to the heart he brings to the job. The precinct workshops, the command walks through neighborhoods that I've joined the officers on, political meetings, faith leaders groups, the young adult police commissioners, the police athletic league, you name it, and our officers are involved. And let me tell you, it's effective and we see the benefits. Earlier this month, we were reminded of the risks that all of our first responders face. Officer William Turner, a 30-year veteran of the force, was shot. And I'm glad to report tonight that he's on the mend and he's going to be fine. We all owe a debt to Officer Turner and to all of the police and fire officials who keep us safe, and they're here tonight, and I want you to help me thank them for all they do for us every day. And that's why, as Chief Tarasovic retires, I'm committed to maintaining the steady leadership that he's brought to the force, and I will announce his replacement early next week. The Richmond resurgence has created a civic pride unimaginable 2 years ago. You feel it in the creativity of our entrepreneurs. You see it in the faces of our students. You see it in the faces of all of those who attend our 4 colleges and universities. You know it when you talk to people around town. And even now when we go out of town, we hear people talking about Richmond and its resurgence. And you know this, we'll reach our full potential only when we move beyond the tale of 2 cities. Right now, one part of the town is vibrant, prosperous, and forward-looking. And then when you cross the Martin Luther King Bridge, you find another part of town, one that's been ignored, one that's been overlooked, one that's been shunned. It's a story that's all too familiar all across our country. The old Richmond approach allowed a generation of Richmonders to believe that they don't have a chance to succeed because they never saw anyone who did. That's the reality we are facing in Richmond, and that's the reality that we've faced throughout my lifetime in this city and yours. It's true today because in the past, leaders made a decision to create public housing projects and push thousands of poor people to live in those projects. History has shown that that experiment just did not work. Here's what's different today. We now have a moment in time to do things differently. For the first time, we can bring the Richmond resurgence not just to one side of town, but we can bring it to every corner of the RVA. It's new for all of us. It's never happened in my lifetime or yours. But I know this, if we unite together and look forward and invite our neighbors to join us, then we'll continue to shape the city and the region we all want to call home. We have 2 more years to continue this work, and then we're going to be judged on what we have done. And I believe that we'll be judged by the answers to 4 basic questions. The first question is, do we fight because we can, or do we demonstrate the maturity to collaborate? And friends, let's be clear, we must collaborate. We have got to work together. That answer determines everything else. And then the second question is this. We will be judged on this. Do we know who our partners are? This is a big town, and I want to know tonight that I know who our partners are. It's a long list. It's a diverse list. But let me tell you some of the partners that we're going to work with as we go forward. We're going to work with City Council, going to work with the school board, going to work with Henrico and Chesterfield, the business community, the activist and the protester alike, and the police force as well. These are our partners. Democrats and Republicans, state government, the governor of the state, federal government, President Obama, these are our partners. Senator Warner and Kaine and Congressman Scott and Bratt, these are our partners. VCU and Virginia Union, the University of Richmond and Jay Sarge. These are just a few names because the list goes on, and our resurgence is enhanced by great partnerships. The third question we'll be judged on is, do we know who our competitors are? And this is a hard question for us to answer, especially for those who want to fight in City Hall. Let's be clear. Our competitors are not here. Our competitors are mostly in places far away. They include employment centers in North Carolina. They include employment centers in Maryland. They're in emerging cities and places many of us have never been before, like Brazil and Colombia, Seoul and Singapore. We have serious competitors, and we have got to think globally instead of thinking locally. And the fourth question is this: do we know what's important and what's not important? And I know these things are important, and I hope you will agree with me. Public schools are important. Developing neighborhoods and reducing concentrated poverty is important. Attracting and retaining employers so that we have jobs is important. investing in infrastructure and investing in our local employees is important. And I just believe that all of our local officials are committed to a new era of cooperation and collaboration in the city of Richmond. And if they're not, I'm calling you to that this evening. That's the way we're going to transform neighborhoods in Richmond's East End. That's the way we're going to transform neighborhoods in the South Side, neighborhoods that have been left behind for far too long. Together, we're going to deliver the best, most exciting World Cycling Championship that this world has ever seen. Together, we're going to drive bus rapid transit forward dramatically to transform public transportation and bring new investment to jobs and our people. And we're going to do our best to hold on to local favorites like the Richmond Flying Squirrels. And we're going to seize new opportunities that we can't even imagine today, because we don't know what opportunities we're going to have when we have this can-do attitude that we'll be able to report on next year. And we are confident that the year ahead will bring many opportunities that we don't even have in our mind. And to everyone who believes that our best days are ahead of us, I want to ask you tonight to join me in this resurgence. I want to ask you to join me in driving the Richmond resurgence forward, and together we can all build a city and a region that everybody can be proud of. There is the story that is told of a man called Cornelius Stradivarius, who made Stradivarius violins, the finest violins in the world. He would not let any violin come out of his shop unless it was a perfect violin, because he said the world needed that music. And this was his motto. He said, "Other men will make other violins, but none will make a better violin than we make." There will be other cities, there will be bigger cities, but there will be no better city than the city of Richmond, Virginia. God bless you, and thank you for coming out tonight.